Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Y'all, I just want to react on the Wayne County judge. She wasn't the judge, she wasn't the person at first that knew about the case, but she took notes during the course of this preliminary trial for Nazaria Harris case. And I'm going to react to what she's saying, okay? This is a circumstantial case, people. Okay? Now, several people failed her. Several people, and you know who you are. Mother, your name came up again. She wasn't protected and wasn't given any attention nor love. What we've been talking about the whole time. The father is underlife. The same thing I said. Those men, Cordell, none of y'all men said nothing. Was she hungry? Did she need some chips or nothing? You didn't even care about Nazaria Harris sitting in that truck. The school failed her. CPS. She even mentioned about the grandmother testimony is questionable. That's why it stays on the stepmom, on the grandmother so hard. Y'all remember the grandmother said that she ran away, but then she turned around and said she was not a runaway child. Hmm. Instead, they said she ran away that day, but she was missing. That man was in that house the whole time. Lurking around. She trusted Jarvis. That's why I say I don't believe Jarvis took her out of here. Because Nazalia left school missing with Jarvis.